Nice. We're playing against a creepy little doll. Arabella, abandoned doll. Oh, freaky creepy. As long as you have 7 more life than your starting total, creatures you control get blah, blah, blah. These ley lines. Oh, so many ley lines now. It used to be 5, and then 10, and then far too many to remember. So it's a life gain build, I guess. Well, she has life gain built into her, so why the hell not? Dive down. Well, we have Mindskinner plus protection, so I guess we shall leave that up. So how many cards do they have? 89. So 8 hits and we win. That is a lot of hits, guys. Huh. More toughness, you say? More toughness, you say? That's interesting. Okay. We'll block you. How's about that? Nice. And they get a blocker, but I don't really care about that. We cannot be blocked. We are the yeast of thoughts and minds. So we don't deal any damage to them, but we mill them. Those bounces back to their hand. Lovely job. And we can protect Mindskinner once again. Maybe we used the wrong one. Untap it. Oops. Oops, hexproof. Squee! So all we have to do now is just not die to Boros, which is kind of crazy, because Boros is very, very quick. Another land. Gross. Now, the only issue with this deck is, if we ever face something like Sultai Reanimator or Nethroi, the deck just sucks. 67. We have to hit so many times. It's hard. It's Acacia's Welcome. Let's negate that. Negate. So they're going to come in fast. Now, the only thing with Leyline of Hope is I'm not going to be able to subdue this. But we do have a Psycho Rift. So I think we're just good, really. And that flips. Nice. Illuge. Beautiful. Let's go for Illuge first. Let's apply some pressure. With some pressure. Keep swinging in. But yeah, double strike would be so crazy right about now. Uh-oh. We gave them that. Okay. So how many we got? 55. Skrell's Hive. To be honest, waiting for the Cyclonic Rift is kind of cool. Because it means that we're just going to get more hits. And I think when we use it on our next turn, it's just going to... Ooh, significance. Let's just do it now. So they can't cast 2-drops. Arabella can't be cast because it's an overload cost of 7, different than CMC. But we got him good. Psycho Rift for the win. Very nice. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Josh, and today we're looking at the Mindskinner from the newly released Duskmourn set. And it's interesting that it's a legendary enchantment creature. It kind of follows a lot of the templating of the old Theros gods. Although that used to be unique, having enchantment creatures being gods, but now they're kind of just... I guess they've turned enchantment creatures into something that's along the lines of ideals or emotions or fears or beliefs. So I guess the Mindskinner is something that belongs in your nightmares, which kind of makes sense. It can't be blocked. It's a 10-1, which is pretty extreme, but it dies to so much stuff. So that is the downside. Having 1 toughness means any red kill spell will kill it. Any other kill spell will kill it as well. So it's very, very, very weak to removal. But it can't be blocked, I guess, so I guess creatures that just walks by. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent that damage, and each opponent mills that many cards. In Commander, this is pretty epic because it says each opponent. But in 1v1, it's slightly worse because it obviously is not getting the full ceiling. Now, the other interesting thing about this card is my first build idea was to give it all the swords, but this prevents any damage ever dealt, which means your swords will never ever trigger. In fact, no creature's attack triggers will ever trigger with this out. So that's why I've taken things like Imrith out, which triggers on damage and draws a card. So it kind of belies the whole idea of being unblockable. Normally with unblockable high power things, you want to give them equipment and swords that deal triggers on damage. I know there's other equipments that do things without necessarily being damage related, but yeah, it's a shame it doesn't work with that. So yeah, it's interesting. You want to protect this as much as you can, and that's why we have Dive Down, Shore Up, Spell Pierce, 3 steps ahead, a few counter spells just to make sure it doesn't die. We also have Lava Spur Boots to give it haste and ward, which is really, really nice to make it smack a bit 1 turn sooner. Swiftfoot Boots as well makes it smack 1 turn sooner. So once you do have it equipped with Hexproof or something like that, it will be very, very difficult to get rid of. So that's not the problem. The problem is it takes about 5 or 6 mana really to protect it quite well or have some counter spells up. The rest of the deck's interesting. It's not your conventional control build because you kind of want to be more proactive. So there's not that many disruption spells as such. You do have classic mill cards. I don't have all of them because I don't have infinite wild cards. I'm mostly free to play. So some of the ones you want to unlock: Drowned Secrets. Whenever you cast a blue spell, total players mills 2. Manning Cacophony mills somebody for 8, but if you kick it, you mill for half. Now, yes, I know that there's the blue legend. If somebody mills, they mill double that. So this is a 2-card combo, but I don't have that card. Ludovic, is it No, not Ludovic. Can't remember his name. Brudovac something. But we do have Fraying Sanity, which is basically the same thing, and is actually, I think this is actually technically better because it's an enchantment. It's actually harder to kill. So each end step, enchanted player mills X, where X is the number of cards put into the graveyard from anyone's turn. So this combined with the Maddening Cacophony, or Cut Your Losses, or the Teresian Mindbreaker, is game over. So it's a bit fun. It's a bit more fun, I guess, having to rely on things that you already have. Of course, if you do have Bruvac, feel free to unlock it. It fits right in this deck. We also have Eldritch of Dementia, which is kind of funky. Sack a creature, target player mills cards equal to the power. So in 1 turn, you can hit somebody for 10, and then you can then mill it to make them mill another 10. So that's 20 in 1 hit. My head was just going there to double strike. I just want to have a quick look at the equipments. Are there any equipments that give double strike? So there's these. Has double strike as long as 2 more equipment. Can't wait 10 if you get 2 more modified opponents deals against double strike. Yeah, there's only the Brass Knuckles that gives double strike. It's okay. I think 5 mana is quite a lot to play and equip. You can put Brass Knuckles in, but yeah, if there's other ways to give double strike eventually in the future with equipments, most likely I would definitely put it in, because then you go from 10 to 20 mil, which is a huge clock. I guess you could also put in the Ulamog, which mills someone for half. But it's just a lot of mana. 10 mana is a lot. We have a few other interesting things I want to use, like Realm Breaker. This is kind of cool. You play it for 3, then you pay 2 to mill somebody for 3, but then you get to put a land from their graveyard onto your battlefield, which is really nice to let you ramp. The 10 and tap, sack it to put any number of Praetors into play. That's not going to do anything in this deck because we don't have any Praetors, but you could build around that to get some extra advantage, but I'm not too bothered about that. This is mostly just a simple mill deck using, triggers we already know. Teferi's Tutelage, whenever you draw, target player mills 2. You got Psychic Corrosion, draw, each opponent mills 2. Fraying Sanity. Bond of Insight's really, really strong in this format. Each player mills 4, return 2 spells back. That's just crazy. Returning some of your best spells back to your hand to use them again is really, really powerful. You got a few Jaces. You got the Jace that mills ×2. You also have Teferi. Most of the time, he's really just a powerful blue card. We have Jason Mind Sculptor, which doesn't mill, but it's just super, super strong. Patient Rebuilding is just a really fun pack card for me. I just like being able to draw up to 3 extra cards each turn. This synergizes super well with the Teferi's Tutelage. So you'll be drawing 3 cards a turn, 4 cards a turn. It's going to synergize really well. And then on top end, you've got the ones I've already said: Mill Half with Casualty, River's Rebuke, and you've got Teresian's Mindbreaker, which also mills half. There's a lot of other cards that mill half and do other things, but I just don't have the rare wild cards for them. So if you do want to support the channel and see me use the cards that you're all shouting me to use, then by all means support the channel. It's the best way to help me out and bring you the best decks that you want to see. You can support me via Ko-fi or Patreon. And if you support me via Patreon, you can get a custom video of your choice, which is really fun. I can do a video any command you want. and I'll make the video for you, shout you out, and you go into my patron supporters list at the end of the video, which is really, really cool. And yeah, I hope you like today's deck. It's a bit different. Let's see how well it works. I think it's going to struggle a little bit because a lot of it relies on this commander, but the body of the deck is not too bad. You've got a lot of decent support, but we'll see how it works out today. Right, I want to keep this hand because we have Fraying Sanity. Fraying Sanity kind of says double strike, right? So get to resolve that and Mindskinner. It should be nice. Arcane Signet. I think I'm going to Spell Pierce that. TBH. Spell Pierce is pretty decent actually in the meta because there's so many aggressive decks. P Delta. Let's go. Inspiring Statuary. That's annoying. That's a very, very good card. Turns all their cards into... Well, turns all the artifacts into rocks, basically. Do damage to an opponent. So this can kill Planeswalkers. Pretty nicely. Chromatic Sphere. So they still have 6 mana. But if they do play that, we can one-shot it. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully they don't have any removal. I'm reading that right, aren't I? Improvise your artifacts, tap for 1. Yeah, okay. Oh, but they don't have... They don't have black mana. Seems. Let's do this. Do they have counter magic? They have wash away. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess that saves them because that would have been so much mill. The scary part now is trying to not mill something that they can use from the graveyard, which is always a risk. To be honest, I think mill is such a risky archetype. It's not reliable. There's so much graveyard stuff nowadays. Do they really not just have black mana? Stonecoil Serpent for 1. That doesn't block, bro. Oh, but then they can use tap an untapped creature to add 1 mana of any color. They can do that. But then we just kill that with a Mindskinner as well. So, oh, gross. And they draw 2 as well. Wonderful. Yeah, it was looking alright until just then. Do you know what, though? If I play the Harbinger and it resolves, they don't have black mana again, I think. Let's see if that resolves. Please? Because that'll turn their special lands into blue sources. But they've still got Chromatic Sphere. Blimey. Okay. We've got 40 lands in the deck, guys. We should be able to do stuff. We should be able to cast spells and stuff. Did they play... Oh, they did. They played that at the black side, but it's still blue because of the Harbinger. So they're good for Tezzeret. They can drain, but then they're just going to lose it. They had to sack that in order to cast that. Fair enough. Oh my god. They just played a bloody Emrakul. That's got to be the most unlucky thing I've seen in a long time. And they're going to return that to their hand and then play it. So they're currently controlling our turn. So what I would do, luckily they can't hear me or see me. Well, I guess there's so many options, so they could bounce any number of things. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, well, they've completely and utterly eradicated us. As if they got an Emrakul in the deck. That's not even an artifact. Yeah, okay. We'll just concede. That's utter bullshit. Why is Emrakul in that deck? Doesn't make any sense. You know, something really, really frustrating I've noticed when playing mill decks is, whenever I seem to play a mill deck, I face a deck that cares, like, that benefits from having stuff milled, and it really just fortifies the whole point that mill really sucks in this format. It really does, I'm afraid. It's just way too tough. Let's see if we can get one hit with this. Yeah, Golgari lands, probably playing lands from the graveyard, so on and so forth. We're getting more basics, which means our Harbinger of Disease is just not going to do anything. Right, let's just see how well we can do here. If we put anything with flashback in there, it's going to be pretty sad. They've already got 5 lands in their turn, which is pretty annoying, but blot out. Why do people use blot out? That just tells me, I don't know, that just doesn't feel like a decent card in this format. 3 mana removal. And they're not going to do anything, okay? 5 mana. Death Sprout. I will bounce that back to my hand. And we'll bottom that. And then in their turn, we will just probably counter the Gitrog. Field of Ruin doesn't do anything to us. Beanstalk Giant. Man, how many basics do they freaking have? Counter that then. Okay. Let's try Mindskinner again. It's interesting because people seem to be terrified of Mindskinner, right? So they'll put so much removal into it. But as I said, it doesn't really do much. So people could probably get by without even touching it at all. Like if they spend another kill spell on this, it's kind of like... It kind of like saves one of our other creatures from dying, interestingly enough. But yeah, I will say stuff that gives stuff no abilities. It's just super strong with Mindskinner. Loses all abilities. Fraying Sanity. So now it gets interesting. Now we're going to mill for 20. So now suddenly you've doubled the clock. And somehow not a single flashback card has been put into the graveyard. Clearly, if they have a Casualties of War or something like that, we are going to be pretty screwed. So they've got 51 cards left. Harrow. So Harrow doesn't do anything. Just gives them more lands. With no landfall triggers, and it thins the deck a bit as well. Nissa, oh no. So they're going to destroy that. Fair enough. I guess we then have to spend the turn killing her. That's an interesting use of that. Right, let's see. So now their lands don't do anything again. So, but there's still non-basics. So there's still only on top 1. That doesn't do anything either. And they've got 48 cards. Okay. So basically we're just kind of fighting the cards in their hand here, and we're racing at this 10-10. Mind Stone. I think I'll be using that, cracking that. I'd like to be able to stop the Beanstalk Giant, because that is kind of scary. Realm Breaker's pretty awesome, actually. Mill them to 24. So we're getting pretty damn close. So the Harbinger affects our lands as well. So if we return something back with Realm Breaker... oof. Wow, they're going full aggro here. We'll take the 12 for now. Oh dear, this is scary. They don't have any artifacts. So we're just going to play this. They're going to gain life. I mean, the life gain doesn't matter too much, I suppose. We'll just play this as a blocker. Swing in. So they're down to 11. Casualties of war goes there. They gain more life. But again, the life isn't what's going to keep them alive here. The land in their deck. Can we survive? Honestly, I don't know. Dryad. Let them play more lands. So how much is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we block the Gitrock monster, they can recast it again. Have I got trample? No trample. Tell you what we'll do. Harbinger blocks here, and we'll block that there as well. Yeah. Take 8. Blimey. So they can recast that. And before that happens, we'll mill them down to... Are any of these going to be helpful? I really don't think so, to be honest. None of them are going to have abilities, are they? Looted Delta. 15. Damn. We brim and lose. 14. Yeah. We die again. Because we face a deck that just has too many cards. So we can mill them for 10 more. That's such a shame. It was so close. They gain more. And they... Actually, no, they draw, don't they? So they're at 3. How much is that? Mill 3. Oh, my God. Their Gitrock monster killed them. Oh, the Gitrock monster killed them. That's so silly. Yeah, because it says whenever a land goes in the graveyard, draw a card. So that would have been at 4 if that wasn't in play. So actually, they shouldn't have played the Gitrock monster again. Oh, that was crazy. But yeah, pretty lucky win. I think I might cut the video short there just because it's been really tough today. I've recorded a lot and I'm not winning too much, to be honest. The win rate is super low. I think this is one of those cards where it's really good for 4-player commander pods where there's a bit more distraction amongst stuff. But yeah, people just find this card way too high threat and they'll kill it even if they probably should be saving a kill spells for other things. It's one of those weird things where it's a victim to people who probably don't... People who haven't played Magic for a long time will look at this and think it's terrifying. But if someone's milling you, you're not dead until you've milled the last card, right? So I guess it's an interesting card to judge. But I guess in 1v1, there's a lot of tempo to be had by slowing people down. But as I said in the deck tech, the deck shouldn't really be focused as much on this guy as the 99 cards in your deck. So yeah, good luck. If you do want to build this, give it a go. But you're probably going to lose a lot of games. But yeah. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.